Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double shot of time.
TNT Sports coverage of NASCAR continues as Cat Rental Stores presents NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Bristol. The reason thousands of fans have been coming into the grandstand since early this morning is simple. They're going to see action like no other racetrack can provide. High speeds, close quarters, sparks flying. If you like your racing fast and furious, you've tuned into the right place. Let's get down and hear from the drivers as they get ready to jump into the middle of all that. Here's Marty Snyder.
Well, Alan, fresh off his first career win, which came last week at Michigan, hotshot rookie Ryan Newman is the hot commodity in the NASCAR Busch Series. And if there's one thing we learned last week, boy, can this kid sure do a burnout.
He's going to get it done. Newman dominates and wins the Napa 250.
Good job, everybody. It's awesome. Good job.
I'm burning up. I'm burning for you. I'm burning up. I'm burning for you.
The burnout gets a 10 in my book.
He did a pretty good job. There was a lot of rubber out there. They had to leave and take the sweep truck out there, so he did better than Jeff Gordon on his first track.
We've got two problems here. He's got a flat, and he has no idea how to find victory lane. Now look at him. He's going to try and turn it that way. You can't get there that way, Ryan.
Left him smoking last week at Michigan, and the first thing I got to know, Ryan, is do you know where victory lane is at Bristol?
We'll find that out if that happens. Just look forward to a good race tonight. It's my first race underneath the lights, and we're starting here 15th and get the qualifying run that we wanted, and just have to be patient for those 250 laps.
You did well here in March, finished 6th, but this is different from the rest of the racetracks where you can run off and hide from everybody. What's your plan for survival tonight?
Just patience, keep the nose clean, keep the car clean, and hopefully we're lucky tonight. I mean, it's a lot of luck plays to your side here.
All right, the latest winner in the NASCAR Busch Series will start 15th tonight. Today, Burns.
Marty, when Ryan Newman ran off and hid last week, he ran away from points leader Kevin Harvick. Kevin wasn't too impressed with the victory or the victory burnout. In fact, he said, wait till we get to Bristol, and tonight, Kevin, you come to a place that you know very well. Does this track level the playing field for everyone?
Yeah, I think so. There's not a whole lot that makes a lot of difference here except a good handling race car, and finishing the race is the main factor. So you can pretty much take a motor advantage and throw it out the window here. But a lot of tough cars in the field tonight. We just need to make sure we get this ACD Delco car to the finish.
And he hopes to do that. Last year in this race, he dominated, leaving 241 of 250 laps. And tonight, he plans to be physical. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
The hits keep right on coming for Greg Biffle. The once title contender in 2001 has dropped from 2nd to 3rd in the standings after a tough run in Michigan. And then on Thursday in qualifying, Biffle turned in the 5th fastest time, and then on his second lap he put the car in the fence. Now Greg Biffle will go to a backup car, an old Mark Martin car, starting shotgun on the field. Greg, a lot of cars through your windshield now at the drop of the green. What's your strategy to get to the front?
Well, the backup car has run it pretty good in happy hour. Big strategy, just try and stay out of the wrecks. Try and stay out of trouble. Have good pit stops. Hope for a top 10 finish tonight. We can't win this race, but we certainly go home with a top 10.
Staying out of trouble was tough in the spring race. He also started 5th, but was caught up in a crash and finished 30th. He's hoping that bad luck doesn't repeat here tonight under the lights. To Liz Allison.
Mike Skinner is starting on the pole tonight, and there is not any other track that is hard to stay up front as Thunder Valley. Mike, you've had a good run. You've got a good qualifying run here, and this is a fast and furious track. What do you have to do here to stay out of trouble?
I think you got to survive. I think starting up close to the front's been pretty good and lucky for us. I think if we can just fall somewhere in the top 5 or top 10 and just kind of sneak around here all night and stay out of trouble, we'll see what we got for him at the end.
He starts up front, and if luck's on his side, he'll end up front. Alan?
250 laps of hardcore rock and roll short track racing coming up. Sounds like a good way to spend a Friday night to me. Amusement Park, Bristol. Take your favorite high-speed roller coaster, combine it with the bumper car ride, and throw in the fireworks show too, and you've got what it's like watching a race here at Thunder Valley. Hi, welcome to our TNT coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series. Alan Bestwick here with Benny Parsons and Wally Dallenbach, ready for a great Friday night show here at Bristol. And BP, this track, perhaps more than any other, has a personality all its own.
Oh, this racetrack is so doggone tough. First of all, it's banked 36 degrees, which means the driver can go in the corner very, very deep, just tap the brake a little bit, turn and go the other direction, probably 150 miles per hour in the corner. Got to stay down next to the yellow line, right on the bottom of the racetrack. That's the preferred line. And you run a couple of laps and say, this isn't too bad. And then they throw 42 other cars on the racetrack, and it becomes almost impossible.
Wally, Kevin Harvick comes into this race with a big lead in the Busch Series Championship. 10 races to go in the year, but
this is Bristol, and anything can happen, and usually does. He's got a nice cushion on his points, but a little bit more to be good here. You have to be lucky. We have had a lot of attrition usually during the Busch race, so things are going to be pretty exciting. Kevin's got to keep his nose clean. He's got a great starting position. He runs really good here.
Drivers getting set to go in this race, Benny, right now. Are they more tense than normal because of the confines of this racetrack? They know they're going to get run into sometime tonight.
They know they're going to be in the crash. Probably, yes. They are a little concerned about, especially the guys, Harvick, Biffle, Green, Keller, the guys trying to win a championship. Can I get through Bristol without being in the garage area at the end of the race?
Meantime, the body men, they're taking a couple aspirin because they know they've got their work cut out for them on Monday after this one gets over. 43 drivers are set to go, 100,000 fans looking on. It's going to be fun. Starting lineup and the green flag are coming up from Bristol in just a minute. Before the start of tonight's Food City 250, waiting the opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, to sing our national anthem, Warner Brothers recording artist Lila McCann.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through our perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets rattle, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the four most famous words in motorsports, the Grand Marshal of the Food City 250, the publisher of the Bristol Herald-Courier, Mr. Bill Hall.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Three drivers set to go in Thunder Valley. The excitement begins when we come back on TNT.
We got a dead girl and you killed her.
Mike Skinner leads lap 1. Here's a bid for the lead. Harvick took a peek. Ken Alexander's being black flagged. He's the car the leaders will pass down on the apron.
This car's got single file real quick, Benny. I'm surprised how fast. Usually it takes a longer time, like 54 Kelly 10. He's hung on that outside. He is trying to get that car down on the bottom lane, but there's no holes open for him to do that. And he keeps losing positions.
He started in 14th. The last time by, he was in 19th, but losing spots every straightaway, every corner. Spencer going by. Here comes Chad Little.
And here's where your spotter's got to be right on. I mean, when he says go, 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 there's the pass for the lead. Harvick takes it from Skinner.
He peeked under him about 3 times off turn 2. This time he made it work.
On the back bumper of the AC Delco Chevrolet of Kevin Harvick, we see Mike Skinner back, and look at these cars bottom out. The fireworks display you were talking about, Alan. Oh, he got trouble off of 2. Michael Waltrip goes around.
And how big's it going to be? Hamilton Jr.'s involved. That's Jamie McMurray, the 27.
And Tim Feedwell comes along and makes contact with the 26 car.
Well, it took all of 6 laps. Caution for lap 6. Tim Feedwell, Jamie McMurray involved. Bobby Hamilton Jr. all started when Michael Waltrip spun off of turn number 2. Bristol, as Cat Rental Stores brings you NASCAR Busch Series Racing. It took all of 6 laps before 4 cars got involved in a mess on the backstretch.
All right, Wally, let's see if we can see what happened to Michael Waltrip. Here he comes off the corner. The 37 car, Kevin Grubb, just touches him a little bit. It doesn't take much. Around goes Michael Waltrip. Grubb is able to get by, but behind these cars, we saw cars trying to spin to avoid Jamie McMurray. I don't know if he just spun or someone hit him in the back, and there we see the contact between Feedwell and the 26.
Yep, and it doesn't take long for it to get jammed up. And like you said, Benny, these cars are on the verge of wrecking anyway, so it doesn't take much of a tap to break a car loose like what happened to Michael right there.
How did Mikey get that stop before he got the inside wall?
This is Mike McLaughlin on board with him. He just gassed it. I don't think he ever cracked the throttle and just drove right by. Ron Hornaday. The C's parted for Hornaday.
Yep. Not for Bobby Hamilton Jr., though.
Yeah, Hamilton Jr. on pit road. Jamie McMurray has gone behind the wall. Tim Feedwell has gone behind the wall. And Ken Alexander's car has been taken behind the wall as well. Liz?
I'm with Tim Feedwell. Tim, it did not take but 6 laps for that trouble to come out. What happened out there?
I don't know. They just got, bunched up. That's what happens when you qualify 30th. I had a bad lap yesterday, put us in the back, and, it's Bristol, and I knew I had to be smart at the start, and I never seen him, until it was too late. And that's Bristol. What can I say? The hole closed up, or opened up, and there was little Bobby, so I just hate it. It's a good bunch of guys here. They've given me a great opportunity the last few races to run, and they give me good cars capable of winning, and I appreciate it.
Some rotten luck for Tim. Dave?
Liz, Bobby Hamilton Jr. brought his car in. They quickly changed tires and pulled damage out and sent it back out without losing a lap. And they said, drive it hard. He said, it feels like a ball joint or something's broken. It will not turn in the corner. So they brought it back in for extensive repairs at this point. Matt?
Michael Waltrip came in, made 2 stops. They changed the right sides on the first time, and then the lefts. They did have a flat tire. Michael came on the radio before he pitted and said the car just spun out. They did make a track bar adjustment because they said the car was a little too tight at the beginning of the race.
Michael is back in 38th position, and we're back racing at Bristol. It may only be a half-mile track. They are flying.
It doesn't take long to go around this half-mile speedway. About 16 seconds per lap.
Average speed in qualifying, the Bud Pole winning speed for the race was 124.4 miles an hour.
Right now they're averaging a little over 119 miles per hour in their race trim. Jason Keller would love to get by that 48 car of Kenny Wallace.
Fourth place we were looking at, a little farther back in traffic. It's Larry Foyt, 25th place, losing ground.
There's Christian Elder going by.
Boy, that's a bad feeling when you're up there, because you just, like I said earlier, you're looking for your spotter. You're screaming at your spotter right now. Get me a hole, get me a hole. Like he can find a, like he can make a hole for you, but you're just trying to get down so bad. In the meantime, to the back.
Larry continuing to lose ground. He was 25th last lap. Now he's 31st.
And right now, he should just crack the throttle a little bit and get that car down.
Okay, spotter, turn left. There you go. Right in front of Derek Cope.
Can you groove here? Let's go.
Now you're down the bottom of the racetrack. You got to pick up some speed.
Back in 32nd now.
Still clear.
Larry. And the tough part about it for Larry, if he looks in his rearview mirror, he's going to see the leader closing very quickly. Single file restart, 40 cars just after that first crash. There's Kevin Harvick coming fast.
Now, I watched when the cars got the restart that last time. The last car was just coming out of turn 2. So 3/4 of a lap back.
Change for 6th, just behind the leaders. Steve Park has just gotten around Elton Sawyer.
And the 18 car got around Elton. And Mike McLaughlin also got around Elton Sawyer. I'll get it out in a minute. He is now 7th position. And Stedman Marlin, the 95, goes a lap down to the leader.
Trouble. Oh. Christian Elder, turn 4. So far, no caution.
Caution, get her turned around. No caution. Come on, working on the flag. Working on the flag to the front straightaway. Get you high behind that 63. Clear right there. Go, 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 go.
That through his rage at being spun around.
Yes.
Let's take a look at what happened to Christian Elder. This is up in turns 3 and 4.
There he is, the black car. He gets, and Rich Bickle gets on the inside. Some contact, and around goes Christian. He's lucky did not hit another car or the wall.
Well, I'll guarantee he's got some big flat spots in those tires right now.
Watch as we onboard the great clips.
Come on, hang on. Roll down if you can. Attaboy. Good job.
And more trouble, 1 and 2. Larry Foyt. And Michael Waltrip's in it also.
And the caution flag is out.
Foyt spun, Waltrip got into it. Lap 26, caution number 2 here at Bristol. And Michael Waltrip's been involved in both of them. That's what you call a bad night. And caution in the opening 28 laps here at Bristol. NASCAR on TNT with the NASCAR Busch Series tonight. And the leader is Kevin Harvick. There is Michael Waltrip's car. It's just been pushed behind the wall. Short night for Mikey. 2 cautions in the opening 26 laps, and he was in both of them. Here's the most recent.
Oh, wow. 3 cars, 3 wide going in the corner, and the 21 car, Skinner, the 2nd place car, just barely got through that without some damage. There we see Larry Foyt spin up in front of Michael. Now watch as he comes back down. There went Skinner, and the 10 car, Jeff Green, went by on the outside.
Is it the 28 car of Brad Baker that was trying to go 3 wide that started all that?
Might have been. Those two cars were racing side by side 3 or 4 laps ago.
Obviously, we're preparing to interview Mikey, and we'll do that after we race for a couple laps. Because once Mikey starts, it might be a little bit before we get the microphone back. All right, let's hear from Mikey.
Well, Michael, you wrecked a whole lot in a short period of time. What happened on both wrecks?
We had a fast car. I thought we'd be real good tonight. I just wasn't quite fast enough for whoever that was behind me and spun me out. And then I started running the top, passing people, just making my way back up through there. And a couple of them got together and spun directly in front of the Aaron's Dream Machine and ended our evening. So it's sad, but we'll come back. I'd like to get back tonight, and but I don't know if that'll happen or not.
And he said they would like to get back. They're going to replace the radiator. The reason they want to get back out, learn some things for tomorrow night that might help the Winston Cup car.
His dream turned into a nightmare along down in turns 1 and 2, and the 14 car spun sideways in front of Michael.
Second, third, and fourth. Skinner in the 21, Jeff Green in the 10, Kenny Wallace in the 48. Let's mention under the caution flag while we were away in the break, the 7 car, Randy LaJoy, Kevin LePage in the 71, and Ryan Newman all made pit stops under that caution. LePage is in 27th, Newman 28th, and LaJoy 29th. There's Newman. Dave, how come Newman came down pit road?
Alan, the 02 of Ryan Newman had to come in. He had damage from that last altercation. They came in and changed 4 tires, but they didn't have time to put a tape patch over the front of the car, which is what they had wanted to do. They pulled out a little bit of damage on the left front. So far, the car's running very well for Ryan back on the track.
Newman in 27th, LePage ahead of him in 26th.
Now he's got some damage to the left front fender, and the left front tire on the 02 car is discolored. I don't know if he's made contact with someone or that fender might be rubbing the tire. You see, it's supposed to have yellow going around it like the left rear does, and it's all black. So I suppose that he's rubbed another car and knocked the yellow paint off of it.
Lance Hooper, the 89 car, off the pace and on the backstretch pit road. Some smoke from behind his machine before he stopped. Got his hands full there. Ryan Newman dominating the race in Michigan last Saturday.
Some heavy smoke out of the back of Chad Chapin's 16 car. He's not long for this whole race.
He's back in 34th place, and he's already a lap down. 37 and 98 changing spots. That's for 8th place. Kevin Grubb moving up. Elton Sawyer slipping back. There's Jimmy Johnson in the 92, Chad Little in the 74. And then we come back to Jimmy Spencer, Mr. Excitement, up to 14th place.
And Tony Raines, that 33 car, that team has been doing just a fantastic job in the NASCAR Busch Series in the past couple of months.
By the way, the 16 car, that smoke we saw a minute ago, he's just been black flagged by NASCAR.
I thought so. That would happen pretty quickly.
Spencer in the 1 car started 23rd. So he's picked up 9 spots. Tracking some of the championship contenders. Of course, Kevin Harvick is leading. Greg Biffle is back in 19th. He had lost a number of positions in that first caution flag scramble on the back straightaway. Now he's picking his way back up through. Jason Keller, second in points, runs 5th now. And this is a race from the 9th position on down. Ron Hornaday's in the 11, Sawyer in the 98, Scott Wimmers in the 23. You've got Jimmy Johnson and Chad Little in there as well.
Steve Park has just passed both the 10 car of Jeff Green and Kenny Wallace in the last 3 laps. He is flying right now.
Mark is up to 3rd place behind Mike Skinner and Kevin Harvick. There's Steve.
Going up. All clear ahead.
This car's hooking around the bottom of the racetrack, just where you want it. See where these other cars slide up a little bit. He squeezes down in there, and then he's got the position coming off the corner.
Still outside. All clear.
Steve's runs in Ted Marsh's car so far this season have been pretty solid. 5 races he started. He's finished in the top 10 4 times, but the last race they ran was pretty disastrous. They blew up and crashed at Chicago.
Our 17 car, Matt Kenseth, had to start at the rear of the pack because of the driver change, and Kenseth is now up to the 14th position.
Let's get more on Matt Kenseth from Matt Yoakum. All right, we'll check back with Matt in a minute. Leaders in traffic, Kevin Harvick and Mike Skinner, the Richard Childress Racing teammates, separated by a couple of car lengths. We're 51 laps in here at Bristol. Randy Tolsma off of turn number 4. You see some damage there to the Team Marines car. And let's take a look at what happened.
Well, they're right in front of the leader. There we see Kevin Harvick, the 2 car. He's the lead in the race. There's Derek Cope, the 94. Cope gets in the back of Tolsma, the 25 car. Around he go. Oh, and Harvick and Skinner both goes down. Now watch this, folks. These cars are coming off turn 4 about 120 miles per hour. And how they missed him, I guess they all missed him. I think that he did the damage on the apron of the racetrack.
He got, watch the right rear right there. See, he comes down and he hits the right rear of Cope's car that shoves that corner in. See the sparks fly, you think? Or do you think he just did that on the banking?
I think he did that on the banking.
Well, here we go.
Oh, you're right. He did catch the right rear of Derek Cope's car that did the damage. Good eyes, Alan.
Tolsma on pit road on the backstretch getting repairs made. Shane Hall has been on pit road. Kevin LePage. How about this place?
That's unbelievable. This is a half-mile speedway, folks.
Aerial views tonight from Bristol provided by the United States Army, an army of one. Action's been plentiful in the early going. There's lots more still to come on TNT. At least it's not a full moon.
You're right, because we used to see really bad things when it's a full moon. This is just tame tonight.
What a place. This racetrack opened in 1961 with 18,000 seats. There are over 150,000 that will be all full tomorrow night, and about 2/3 of them are full for tonight's NASCAR Busch Series race. Storylines will follow through the course of the evening. Demolition Derby happens often here. They smash them and crash them.
We've had a good start to Demolition Derby.
Yes, we have. Guys pitted on the backstretch. Half the field. It's tough to win from back there.
Mike Skinner, his audition, he's racing for a ride. They announced this week he would not be back with Richard Childress in the 31 car next year, nor will he be back in this 21 car. So, folks, he's looking for a job and doing the best job he can for his resume.
Only of the leaders to pit was 12th place Jimmy Johnson. Maybe a little strategy move there by Tony Liberati. We'll find out. Ryan Newman also came back in under that last caution.
Tony Liberati might have gotten to his window where he could make it the rest of the way.
Johnson's back in 26th position now if he can avoid the Demolition Derby for a while. Get some track position when everybody else comes to pit road. We'll see.
That's what I mean by if he can make it the rest of the way and not come on the pit road when these other guys do, he will stay out and pick up that track position and hope his car be fast enough to stay there.
It's Kenny Wallace kind of hung in traffic. He's fallen back to 8th place now, the 48 car. Ron Hornaday in the 11 is racing him for that spot.
Both those cars get by Shane Hall in the Lance car. Here comes Elton Sawyer. Scott Wimmer, the 23. Scott Wimmer's onboard cameras. He looks back at the 17 car of Matt Kenseth.
Inside quarter.
And you better have to look out their left side because the 17 car is going by and just, no, there's a slow car up there. The 63 car that Wimmer's going by.
Clear.
Oh, trouble, turn one.
Up against the wall.
Christian Elder.
Coming across.
Derek Cope's also involved a little farther around the corner. He's trying to drive away. Caution is out for the 4th time already. We're just at lap 69 here at Bristol on TNT. Here at Bristol Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Busch Series has center stage tonight. Tomorrow night, it's the Sharpie 500. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Coverage begins. NASCAR on TNT. It's going to be wild. On to the 4th caution of the Food City 250. Here's why. This is Christian Elder's view.
That looked like a punt to me.
That definitely looked like contact in the back of the 38 car, probably the 94 car, and Christian Elder backs it in the fence, but I'm talking hard.
Let's get an update from Marty on Greg Biffle. Marty?
Well, the bad luck just keeps coming for Greg Biffle, Allen. Of course, he finished 43rd at Michigan last week, and he was involved in the first incident tonight. That sent him back to 26. He's done a terrific job coming up through the field. He's currently 13th, but now he has a brake problem. The brake pedal keeps getting a little softer the longer they run, and that's a bad thing here at Bristol.
That's a real bad thing here at Bristol.
That's a bad thing about any place when you reach down for the brake pedal to slow down, because there's going to be a lot of action in front of you that you need to slow down for.
Yeah, you can't really run this place without brakes, so if it continues to get worse, they'll be in fixing that before long.
Greg Biffle lost 141 points to Kevin Harvick with the lap 5 wreck at Michigan last week. He cannot afford a poor finish again tonight. Ron Hornaday sitting in 9th position, Dave.
Alan, he's picked up 8 positions from his starting spot in 17th. He's a little bit loose right now, but the problem that he's experiencing when the driver's a really good driver, sometimes you call him a hot shoe. Well, you don't want to be one here. And Ron's feet are burning him a little bit right now. This car is particularly hot compared to the Whitson Cup car he drives, so he didn't wear any fire protected, what they call booties, on the heels of his shoes. So they're going to try to pass those through at the next opportunity on his first pit stop.
And you know, some of that has to do with as much as you're moving your feet, you're moving your feet a lot more on the floorboard to these cars. Plus, as rough as this place is, that vibrates a lot, it actually makes it worse. If the floor is a little bit hot, you're moving your foot around a lot more, and you're dragging your heel on the floor, and that even gets hotter.
Why would you not start with the heel protectors on in the first place?
Yeah, you think
because you're moving your feet a lot?
No, I think it's because everybody thinks, well, it's night, it's going to be cooler, so I'm not going to need them.
Hornaday back in 9th place now. Kevin Harvick, the leader, brings the field off of turn 4, and we are getting ready to go back racing again. Let's see how many laps we get this time. Skinner for the lead.
Here we go.
And Steve Park, 3 wide.
3 wide, 3 wide, 2 wide. Inside.
Is something wrong with the 2 car? He just got caught on the outside. Does he have a flat
tire? It almost looked like he's got a flat, but see if we can see it.
Marty, what's going on?
Right rear. Well, he thinks he has a flat right rear. You're exactly right, guys. And he just went into 1 on the restart and just bobbled up into the corner. And that's what they think it is, a flat right rear tire. Kevin Harvick coming down pit road.
If he can get down low. That was Stedman Marlin who got spun, but we stay under green, and he's going again. No caution.
And he can't get to the bottom of the racetrack. Talking about the 2 of Kevin Harvick. There he is, still on the high side of the racetrack. And cannot get out.
Inside. Clear low, clear low, clear low, clear low, clear low, clear low, clear low. Still clear, still clear. Right rear is slant, Kevin. Your right rear is slant.
But you see that right rear tire, he can't get it when he goes to the corner.
Inside.
And you can't turn it left hard or you'll spin out. You got your flat right rear. He's got to let all these cars go.
Inside. Inside.
This is what, 4 laps now? He's been trying to get down?
Inside.
Derek Cope has been black flagged for rough driving.
Battle for the lead. Steve Park, the 31 car, the wheeling car. In the lead, here comes Jeff Green for second.
Nudged him up out of the way off turn 4. Park is out front. Now Skinner feeling some pressure from Jason Keller.
Why isn't the 2 car, why hasn't he come in yet?
I think he knows that he's going to lose laps. He's waiting until he gets lapped. Here he comes now.
500, come on, 4,500, hands up, guys.
So Kevin Harvick was the race leader just a few laps ago. Marty, now he's a lap down and he's on pit road.
He's a lap down, Alan, but I think it's important to note that Kevin Harvick can run the rest of the race after stopping on this pit stop. They'll put fuel in, they make an air pressure adjustment to the left front tire, and they're not going to put on the left side tires. They were going to make a 4-tire stop. They decided they were going to lose too much time and just made it a 2-tire stop for Kevin Harvick.
They missed the lug on it, or I don't think they got all the lugs on there. You may have to check that, Marty, but it looks like they have a problem with the right rear.
Harvick is back in 30th position. And we'll check here. He is 2 laps down to Steve Park. 30th place. Well, there's a little championship twist for you.
A simple thing like a punctured tire can cost you so much.
And we look ahead, or back, I should be, to the race leader. Steve Park, 3rd different driver to lead. Harvick had led 71 laps. Mike Skinner led 10 laps. Now Park is out front. Jeff Green went to 2nd. Mike Skinner's 3rd. Jason Keller 4th. And Mike McLaughlin is up to 5th. Then you've got Kevin Grubb in 6th. Matt Kenseth has just moved Ron Hornaday out of the way to grab 7th. Kenny Wallace is 8th. Hornaday back to 9th. And Elton Sawyer is rounding out the top 10 at the moment.
Marty made the point that Kevin Harvick can make it the rest of the way without stopping again. But these cars on the racetrack can also run another 50 or 60 laps. And if the caution flag comes out, they make their pit stop then Harvick does not gain anything. Harvick would depend on these other guys making pit stops on the green flag. And what we've seen tonight, it's hard to imagine these cars running 50 or 60 laps without a caution flag.
Steve Park started the race back in 8th position. Park, a 3-time NASCAR Busch Series winner. The last one back in 1997 at Richmond. Let's get a follow-up on Kevin Harvick's problems of a minute ago. Marty?
Well, and there's the cut in Kevin Harvick's right rear tire. It's important to note that the teams do run inner liners only here at Bristol at the short track on the right side tires only. So the outer liner, or the outer tire, actually had a lot of pressure in it. So he just said he felt like it was going down. So still had a lot of pressure in it, but obviously does have a cut as well.
And again, Harvick 2 laps down, back in 30th place. Here's that pit stop, Wally.
And watch the right rear tire guy. See that lug's falling off now. Now he's going to look. He reaches down, tries to put the lug on with his left hand, but Harvick's gone.
Never hit it with the gun.
Never hit it with the gun. And you don't know how tight the wheel is right now.
Greg Biffle's going to like seeing Harvick come up. Coming right back to him. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
Welcome.
Hank Parker Jr. got turned around into the wall in turn 3 just seconds ago. Here's a look.
Some contact with the 92 car. Looked like if Jimmy Johnson gets in the back of 36, Hank Parker Jr., and around he goes.
They were racing for 18th position. On board Scott Wimmer.
I don't watch you coming down. Come on, go low. There you go. Caution will be out.
I love these spotters. All right, here we go. All the lead lap cars on pit road.
Except Matt Kenseth. He's got to go to the backstretch pits. That's
hey,
right.
Whoa. Look at the 31 and the 10. The 10 pulled up next to the 31 like he was racing them down pit road.
Matt?
Contact between the 10 and the 31 of Steve Park. The 10 tried to dive on the inside like Rusty Wallace did a few races ago in the Winston Cup Series. Park, this will be a 4-tire stop. No changes. The car was tight at the beginning of the run. As the tire bumps into Roger, the gas man, he tries to get that can back in. Park is now blocked in by the 57, the teammate of Jeff Green. Controlled chaos. Park, the leader, heads back out, but he loses some spots.
Wow.
Oh, that was wild.
That was wild is right.
What was that all about? Jeff Green has to come back down pit road now to get his service. And that's going to put him way back in the field.
Because Jeff Green, once he decided to go around the 31 car, then he totally missed his pits.
But why would you pull up and try to pass a guy that's ahead of you?
I said when he came down pit road, guys, he just couldn't see his pits because all the other cars were in. He didn't see the opening, so by the time he got to the opening, he was already one pit stall past his pits. The car does not have a lot of grip right now, so they came down 1 pound on all the tires, giving him more overall grip. Jeff Green back out on the racetrack, but way down in the standings.
He is going to be back somewhere around 24th in line when we go back racing at Bristol. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. What a wild scene on pit road a moment ago for a couple of the top cars.
Wally, what do you think, that the 10 car was going to go inside down to his pit?
I can't understand that because he had a clear shot. It wasn't like it was hard to see your pit. The 31 car said, hey, I got to get to my pit. You better move. And he moved them.
And the 10 car is pitting on down 4 more pits. And as he leaves, watch, he goes down to his pit, but he drives right by it. Now he says, well, doggone, I guess I'll just go back around. Oh, man.
This is one of Park's crewmen.
Hey, change the tire. Don't worry about the 10 car.
So Jeff Green is back in 23rd place, Marty.
Harold Holly, what happened?
Well, it's like the 31 checked up a little bit, and Jeff darted to the inside, and they kind of got tangled up. But, hey, Jeff Green's an awesome race car driver, and he'll do a good job in the next quick Ford Taurus getting us back up through there. So we'll be okay. It was just a little bit of mishap on pit road, but we'll be all right.
All he said after the pit stop was, sorry, guys. Back to Green on the racetrack.
The leader is Chad Little in the 74 car. Jimmy Johnson is second in the 92. Then you get back to Scott Wimmer, Jimmy Spencer, and Kevin LePage. The drivers who were the leaders before the stop. Steve Park is back in 12th. Jason Keller 13th.
And right now, Kevin Harvick, the 2 car, is in front of Chad Little. And now he's 1 lap down. If the caution flag were to come out, he'll be able to, and the pace car would pick up the leader of the 74, Chad Little. 2 car just go around and make up a half mile.
Mike Skinner got off pit road first of the cars who came in. He's up in 6th place now, so the 21 car is the one to keep an eye on coming through the field. There's Mike.
Red and white car is Mike Skinner.
Sit here when these cars are all bunched up after these restarts, waiting for the next incident.
The 8 car is Jeff Falk out of Chesapeake, Virginia.
2:34. David's in 15th place. Matt Kenseth in the 17 is in 16th.
This is where it's really hard to be patient. Got the slower cars down on the bottom. Everybody's jammed up. You're wanting to go, but you can't go anywhere. And running that high groove, there's not a lot of stick up there. So just really got to work that throttle nice and easy. Get that car to turn, roll on the gas. Easy to get real loose up off the corner, especially off of 4 when you're on the high line.
There's Jeff Green trying to work his way back to the front. Ryan Newman, the 02 car, said, that's a good guy for me to follow. I think I'll just follow Jeff Green. I think now if he can keep up, he'll be okay.
Green has not made up any positions since the restart. All he's been passing are lap cars.
Well, you know, watching a few laps ago, it looked like Jeff may have got together with one of those slower cars. And because I saw him come off of 2, and there was a little bit of contact over on the right side of his car, like right in front of the right front, right behind the right front wheel. So I don't know if that's hurt the car any, but there was some contact back there.
Randy Tolsma, the 25, the 26 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Both those cars have been involved in crashes tonight already.
All right, producer says we've got a cool shot from the bumper cam on the nose of Mike McLaughlin's car.
Oh, yes. The front bumper, the MBNA car. It's hard to imagine this camera surviving the whole night at Bristol.
McLaughlin running in 8th place.
So he's working that throttle, goes down here, lets the car coast, picks it up a little bit, and really gets on it. Same here, going in, rolls the car through the center, starts to pick it up, and really hammer it once you're about 3/4 of the way through. If you get on it real hard anytime sooner than that, you'll spin.
This is a pass for the 5th position. Kevin Grubb in 37 takes it away from Scott Wimmer in 23.
Ahead of them, 4th place has changed hands. Mike Skinner's just gone through. Matter of fact, all of these cars have gone through Kevin LePage. Kevin has dropped back to 7th. So it's Skinner 4th, Grubb 5th, Wimmer 6th, and LePage 7th. And we look ahead to our leader, Chad Little, being pressured by Jimmy Johnson.
And the 92 car, Jimmy Johnson, has made a pit stop. Question is he going to be able to stay out there? Can he go the rest of the way?
Squeezing around the Larry Foyt car. Foyt involved in one of the earlier spins. Halfway, next time by. It's Cat Rental Stores presenting NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Bristol on TNT. Last halfway as Cat Rental Store presents NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Bristol. Steve Park marching his way up through the field. Just got 8th place away from Scott Wimmer. Park, the leader, before a set of pit stops a moment ago, when he and Jeff Green did a little do-si-do down the pit lane. Look at this for the leaders. Lead change in the middle of the lap traffic.
Jimmy Johnson, 92. He's giving these guys a big-time Excedrin headache.
Let's just get the rhythm and go. Let's just get rhythm and go now. Be smooth, smooth.
Smooth, Rambo said. Crew chief on the 92 car talking to his driver.
Here's our Napa Field summary. Caution flags, the big number, not unexpected. 5 through the first half of the race and a total of 10 cars out. Big stories in this one as 2nd place changes hands. Kevin Harvick, point leader, leading the race when he got a flat tire, lost 2 laps on a pit stop at lap 83. Jeff Green tangling with Steve Park, missing his pit stall on stops at lap 103, fell to 23rd after he had to go around and come back in the next lap. Harvick has led. Chad Little, Steve Park, Mike Skinner, Jimmy Johnson, and Matt Kenseth. They've all led a lap. And the cars out of the race include Hank Parker Jr., Christian Elder, Brad Teague, Kelly Denton, Chad Chaffin, Lance Hooper, Michael Waltrip, Tim Fedowa, Jamie McMurray, and Ken Alexander.
All right, Steve Park, the 31 car, the Wheeling car, has been one of the fastest, if not the fastest car all evening. But can he work his way through this traffic on a very, very tight, fast racetrack?
Yes.
Yes.
I think he can.
All right.
His car's still working right down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's the lowest car on the racetrack right now.
This is a race for fifth we're watching. Jimmy Spencer in the one car is fifth. Then McLaughlin, Wallace, and Park. He is able to hook the bottom, isn't he?
Yeah, all he's waiting for is one little slip up the racetrack, and he will put it right underneath that car.
Chad Little's kind of backing this group up now. Caution, debris.
Well, they're
turn 3, I believe, is what I just heard.
Stedman's up high in 1 and 2, going real slow.
All right, the 2 car, Kevin Harvick, 1 lap down now.
Yeah, he got one back there.
Got one back now. Might be a good time for him to go in and change the left side tires.
So Stedman Marlin into the wall, putting some debris out on the racetrack, and putting the caution out. Games coverage beginning Tuesday, August 28th. Kevin Harvick's on pit road. Marty?
Yeah, Kevin Harvick taking advantage of this opportunity. They are 1 lap down now. They will make a 4-tire stop here. He's still a little bit loose. They took a pound out of the left front. He will have new tires on. He's been charging up to the field. One of the 3 fastest cars on every lap for that last run. He will still be a threat to win this race. Don't count him out yet. I'm guaranteeing you guys.
Had trouble on that right rear tire once again.
Farthest up car in the running order that stopped under this caution was Jimmy Spencer. He was in 5th place. He was on pit road, and he is going to fall back to about 19th position for the restart. Jimmy Johnson leads. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Miss any of it? Catch our encore Monday, 11 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on TNT. Green flag. Jimmy Johnson leads. Mike Skinner is second. Kevin Harvick in the 2 car is 1 lap down in 25th. If he can get around these 2 in front of him and get a caution, that'll be quite a rally.
Kevin kind of got a raw deal on that, because on the restart, Derek Cope was like 3 laps down, and the 2 car had to line up behind him, so he really didn't get a shot at getting his lap back like he should have.
Teammate lets him go.
The 2 car has 4 fresh tires. The 92-21 have some laps on their tires. So Harvick right now should have an advantage. Should be faster.
So if I'm Jimmy Johnson, the leader, and a caution comes out, there's no way I'm letting Harvick get his lap back, because he's that fast. Jimmy Johnson stopped back at lap 59 for his service, Dave. How about it? Is he going the rest of the way?
Well, and Alan, I thought that there were cars that could maybe go 190, 195 laps, but not according to Tony Liberati, his crew chief. He wrote the number 210 on a notepad, and I said, you have to stop at 210 that early? He said, it'll stop by itself if we don't.
That's right. It will run out of gas if we don't.
Aerial views here at Bristol provided by the United States Army, an army of 1.
All right, Kevin Harvick, the 2 car, is now back on the lead lap. He still has a half mile to go, and he's got to pass 24 other cars to win. But he has an advantage on a lot of them in the fact that he has 4 fresh tires and better tires than anyone else out there on the lead lap.
Just the fact that he's back on the lead lap, championship-wise, is huge for him. I mean, he's got a position now to get a top 10 finish out of this thing. If he gets a caution, which I can't see why he won't, close back up again, he can get a top 10 out of this and turn what would have been a very bad night into something very positive.
Very positive.
We talked at the top of our broadcast about this is one of those but places. You've got a big point lead, but he had that, but he may be making it back up. I tell you, Mike Skinner, we really didn't do his pit crew justice on that last set of pit stops. We were also busy watching Park and Jeff Green do their little do-si-do. But Skinner's pit crew ripped off an absolute blazing stop, got him out on the track 3-4 positions ahead of those guys, and he's moved his way back up through into second.
And he changed 4 tires. Our crack pit reporters have told us from down there.
That was 9th place. Matt Kenseth taken away from Kenny Wallace, and there's Greg Biffle. And Tony Raines right behind him in 11th and 12th. Steve Park in the 31, working on Mike McLaughlin for 5th. Wall said Park would get back to the front. That's what he said. Matt?
Under that caution, Alan, Steve Park came on the radio. He's complaining about Kenny Wallace. No goodwill games here at Bristol. He said the 48 car was chopping him, so Randy Smith, who was Park's spotter, when Park finished second here in 97, walked down to Fat Boy, Donnie Epping, said, hey, give my guy a break. He's a lot faster. Remember, this is Bristol, where you can leave here bumped and bruised. And so Kenny Wallace gave his way. Park has climbed to 6th. Right now, he's just riding, as he tells Teddy Marsh, until the finish. That tells you how good that race car is.
Oh, they're getting all jammed up now behind the 74 car. And Chad Little almost lost it. The 11 car made someone made contact with 11 of Ron Hornaday. He almost lost it. And we see now the 74 car's gone up the racetrack, allowed the 18 of McLaughlin to get under him.
It's going to cost him about 8 spots by the time he finds that inside lane again. There's number 3, Hornaday.
Now, Steve is going to make short order of that 18, I believe.
See Chad Little still caught up on the outside. Keller's by, Kenseth, Kenny Wallace, Greg Biffle. They're lined up with the inside of Chad Little. He's going to get back down. No, he let him back in.
Well, sometimes you get up in that high groove, and if you get a little too high, you get some rubber and junk on your tires. So when you go back down the corner, the car just doesn't stick and it slides back up the racetrack like that.
Right now he's lost 8 positions. Jeff Green will make 9. And here comes Park.
Moves into the 4th position.
All clear. Great job. We got him at the blocker. Good job, buddy.
Steve Park 3 seconds behind Jimmy Johnson, the race leader. At Bristol, can you even see him? You know, 3 seconds at a place like Michigan last week, that's, you know, you can look ahead, you can see him and get excited about it. What about here?
I don't think so. I don't think you can see 3 seconds down the racetrack.
And Mike Skinner, the 21 car, was under the 92 off turn 4 the last time, trying to take that lead away.
First race at Bristol Jimmy Johnson has ever led in his NASCAR Busch Series career. Best finish was a 4th. He did that back in the spring.
Mike Skinner's crew right now has got to be telling him, if you got anything, get by the 92 car if you can, because the 31 of Steve Park is coming.
You know, take a look at that, Benny. I'm surprised he's not overheating with the nose like that.
The 21 car?
No, the 92 car, Jimmy Johnson, the front end's all crushed. The front end of the hood is crushed down. But they must have enough air getting in there that it's not overheating.
Oh, I see that. He was running the back of someone and closed up the grill almost entirely.
Which is probably making some pretty good downforce on the front of that car right now.
Kevin Harvick has put a straightaway on these two. Working his way up through the back of the field. He's about to take 21st position from Ashton Lewis. So Harvick trying to pick his way back. While his teammate Skinner, remember we talked in our storylines, Mike Skinner is now auditioning for work. Monday, Richard Childress Racing and Skinner announcing they would go their separate ways at season's end.
Someone was telling me that Mike Skinner, his comment, well, I've been auditioning all my life to get up to run NASCAR Winston Cup. This is no different.
Do it right there. Good job.
But I think it is different when you're 44 years old.
Marty, how about Mike Skinner's race?
Well, he's doing a really good job, Alan, and I don't know what kind of sign this is, but Skinner has said very little on the radio tonight. When they asked him how the car is, he said it's a little tight, and that's all he says. He is very focused in the race car, and I know that personally, he desperately wants to win this race tonight.
Skinner trailing only Jimmy Johnson here at Bristol with 77 laps to go. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. From Foxborough Stadium in Massachusetts, TNT will carry the inaugural WUSA Championship game. The Atlanta Beat taking on the Bay Area Cyber Rays. Championship drama tomorrow, 2 Eastern Time on TNT. 68 laps to go in the Food City 250 at Bristol. The NASCAR Busch Series on TNT. And the lead is held by Jimmy Johnson. He's got Mike Skinner pressing him and Steve Park closing quickly. You're looking at Jeff Green trying to make his way back through traffic. He's up to 12th.
And right in front of him is 11th and 10th. Tony Raines at 33. Greg Biffle in 60. The 2-car of Kevin Harvick has worked his way up to 17th.
Jeff Green fell to 23rd. After the pit stop shuffle with Steve Park, he got involved in at lap 103. On board Hornaday.
Randy Tolsma, the Team Marines car, involved in one of the very early caution flags. And Steve Park in 31 has caught Mike Skinner. He gave him a little shot to tell him, hey, buddy, I'm back here. Look in the mirror.
The chrome horn.
Here it comes.
Here he comes. That's second spot.
That's all Steve needed. His car is so good right now down there.
Ooh. Skinner turned down there before Park was quite clear. Little bump there.
Almost made some contact. Now then, Tony Liberati says that he's got to stop for fuel again. If that's the case, that puts Steve Park back in the lead.
There's Kevin Grubb having a great run. He's up to 4th. Mike McLaughlin and Matt Kenseth are chasing him. Kenseth, remember, started at the back of the field because somebody else qualified that 17 car.
That's someone being Clay Rogers.
Matt Kenseth, a 2-time NASCAR Busch Series race winner here at Bristol.
Dave Burns.
And Alan, Clay Rogers had always intended to race this race. In fact, it was on his schedule to do. But last week they made a decision to put Matt Kenseth in the car. The only problem was he had an appearance for his Winston Cup sponsor, DeWalt, with one of their largest customers. There's no way he could get out of it. It took place during qualifying on Thursday for the Busch car. So Matt wanted to be in the car. He just couldn't make it for qualifying because of a sponsor conflict. And that's why he had to go to the back of the field and start.
Well, there you go. Currently is in the 6th position.
Not for long.
That's right. Make that 5th.
Spin in turn 2. Randy Tolsma has gone around. Caution is out. Leader Steve Park trying to come around to get the yellow flag. All kinds of people thrashing around him. Leader Jimmy Johnson, rather. Derek Cope's going to get a lap back, and let's take a look at what happened to Randy Tolsma.
Some contact. Man, that wasn't incidental. That was hard lick from the 74 of Chad Little on the back of the 25. Tolsma. Randy did a nice job doing a 360 and continuing on.
Excuse me, I want that piece of racetrack.
Well, normally when the guys are on the lead lap and they come up to a car that's 3 laps down, they're not going to be too patient with them. So that looked like Chad was wanting to go, and 25 didn't move up. And
all right, here comes 92. Rambo was not lying to us. Here comes Mike Skinner. Here comes Grubb. The 18, they're all coming in the pits. Man, they're playing right in.
Come on in here. Come on in here. Come on in here. Good job.
The pit stop that Jimmy Johnson didn't want to make. They will change right side tires, and we'll see if they'll change 4. They grabbed the tires on the wall. They will change 4 tires for Jimmy Johnson, and he's now given up that precious lead, filling full of fuel. Let's go to Marty.
Loose end tied off for Mike Skinner. Already a little bit of a long stop. It was a planned 4-tire stop, but they dropped the jack after 2, and Skinner went on down pit road.
Kevin Grubb also just got 2 tires. You look at the cars on the backstretch pit road now. Chad Little, Jimmy Spencer, Jeffrey Bodine. Liz?
Chad Little has come in and he's gotten 2 tires. He's going for 4 tires and a splash of gas, and he will be out of here.
It's Ashton Lewis right in front of the camera. There goes Chad.
Saw Jimmy Spencer, the 1 car, making a pit stop back there.
Steve Park and Matt Kenseth did not stop. They have taken over the top 2 spots here at Bristol on TNT. Here on our NASCAR Busch Series race on TNT, Steve Park gets the lead by not pitting. Let's take a look at Witchblade on TNT.
Well, Alan, I asked Ryan Newman how he celebrated his win after Michigan last week. He said, we celebrated by crashing our airplane. They literally did. At 30,000 feet on the way home, about 30 minutes into the ride engine sputtered, caught on fire. They had to make an emergency landing in Mansfield, Ohio, and that's where they spent the night. They didn't get to come home until the next morning. He said it was the most eventful night of my life because we crash landed our airplane.
Wow. Green flag. Steve Park, Matt Kenseth, Ron Hornaday, Jason Keller, Greg Biffle. All didn't stop.
That's when me and Mr. Graham, we see the 17 car get in the back of the 31. And here's Hornaday. What a terrific battle for the lead.
Guys that did stop, Mike Skinner's back in 12th, Kevin Grubb in 14th.
And we got trouble. Randy LaJoy has got some heavy damage to his party car.
Caution. Caution's coming out. Watch out for liquid in turn 2. LaJoy has left a long trail out from behind his machine. Steve Park taking no chances, getting back around quickly to the caution flag to keep people a lap down. Let's go back and quickly reset. I gave you the first 5 or 6 that did not stop. You've got Tony Raines, Jeff Green, Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick now in 9th place. Eldon Sawyer, Scott Wimmer, and Rich Bickle all did not stop under that caution.
Tires, guys. Where's he at, Eddie?
So caution's out. Randy LaJoy in trouble here at Bristol. Beautiful sight, Bristol Motor Speedway, Thunder Valley, where tonight Cat Rental Stores presents NASCAR Busch Series Racing on TNT. It has been a wild one. 8 caution flags, a lot of crashing and bashing. The most recent of them involving Randy LaJoy. Let's take a look.
The 92 car, Jimmy Johnson, gets on the inside, going down in the corner. Oh, the 21 car gets spun.
Oh, man.
And he runs in the back of the 18 car, does LaJoy, and does all that damage. The 92 car of Johnson just somehow squeezes through.
So that's what happened to Mike Skinner.
You wondered what happened to Skinner.
We're sitting here going to commercial, and I'm saying, what happened to Skinner? I can't see him anywhere. That's because he was down on the apron, spun out.
Moses stopped in. Son of a bitch.
Our camera made it through that. I can't believe that our camera in the front bumper made it through all those crashing and banging.
You saw the big birthday boy decals on the nose of Randy LaJoy's car. Randy has one of those birthdays that end in O coming up on Tuesday. The big 4-0.
Oh, I had one of those zeros myself not too long ago.
You're not up to 2 zeros yet?
I just...
There's LaJoy. Well, don't crash my party.
And they did.
Yes, they did. Under the 8th caution here at Bristol, the leader is Steve Park. We're right back.
We talked earlier how Ron Hornaday's feet were burning up, and they handed him 2 of these little booties that he puts on the bottom of his shoe on the heel to take care of the heat problem. Well, there was another problem. One of them got away from him and is sitting over on the side of the car. He only got one. So he has one really hot foot, and he has one really, really hot foot.
Wow.
Let's go to Liz Allison.
Randy LaJoy, not a way to celebrate your upcoming birthday. What happened out there?
Well, it started on that caution flag. 3 or 4 cars pitted. And they come out behind us when they let them go in front of us. Then one of them caused the wreck, and we just got involved in a Bristol wreck. But really, those guys shouldn't have been there. I'm in a NASCAR trailer. This way, it's not my fault. This one here is their fault. It wasn't a good night for the Kleenex Chevy, but made it worse by their mistake.
A frustrated Randy LaJoy. Alan.
And LaJoy is specifically referring to Mike Skinner, who went down on the apron after his pit stop and tore up to the inside of about 5 or 6 cars. And LaJoy has a beef with that, probably legitimately so. 40 laps to go. Here at Bristol, Steve Park is leading. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
Richmond in 1997, Teddy Marsh, his owners never won a Busch race, period. You've talked about rocket scientists possibly involved in Winston Cup and Busch Series racing. How about guys that work on nuclear-powered submarines? Teddy Marsh, for 30 years, was a mechanical engineer on nuclear-powered subs in New London, Connecticut. He retired, but he spent 35 years in racing and continues that dream of winning a Busch Series race. Several guys on this team also work on nuclear-powered submarines. So forget about rocket scientists. How about nuclear-powered submarines, Alan?
How about a pass for the lead?
Ow.
Matt Kenseth, body slam, Steve Park to the side.
And Steve Park got in the wall through turns 1 and 2.
Hornaday going after Kenseth for the lead. Contact, they both spin. Jason Keller's involved, 2nd place in points. Greg Biffle comes out with the lead. Big mess off of turn 4.
Welcome to Bristol. And what started all that was the 17 car, Matt Kenseth. He was down pretty far below Steve when they went Steve Park when they went into turn 1, but Steve wasn't giving him anything.
Way up high, get underneath him.
9th caution. This one right at the head of the field. So Greg Biffle is now suddenly the leader. We'll take a break, come back, get the replays ready for you to see in just a minute on TNT. Bristol, the latest mess happened right at the head of the pack among the leaders. Let's take a look.
Here you got Matt coming on the inside of Steve, and he was up there a pretty good ways. Steve came down on him, they kind of bumped. Steve went up to probably just touched the wall there.
That allowed Hornaday, the 11 car, to get alongside. Right here, these 2 cars are going to make contact. And then the 57 gets into it. And somehow, some way, those were the only cars involved.
Hornaday's up off the bottom pretty good there. I don't think you can fault Matt Kenseth for that one.
No, you can't. And actually, Steve Park got that damage on the right side of his car on this 2nd deal down here in turn 4.
And we go back under the green. So, Biffle is the leader. Park is 2nd. Jeff Green is back to 3rd. Ryan Newman is up to 4th. And Kevin Harvick is 5th.
Make Kevin Harvick 4th. He just gets by.
And they're not done wrecking behind him. Ashton Lewis gets tagged and spun off turn 4.
Okay, Ashton, put it first and leave.
No caution. Trouble in turn 3. Rich Bickle gets tagged. He's into the wall.
Are
you sure that moon wasn't full?
No, I saw it. It was only half moon. And the caution flag is out.
Here comes Biffle. 10th caution. Matt Kenseth has taken his car behind the wall. He's with Liz.
Matt, welcome to the Demolition Derby. What happened out there?
Well, I really couldn't hear you, but what happened was I think the Visine car was the best car tonight, and I drove all the way up past Steve Park's door, and he had to know I was there, and he just plain ran me off the track to block me, and regained control of my car, and then Hornaday, being the animal that he is, didn't hit me once, didn't hit me twice, but clobbered me 3 times and wrecked me, so I kind of held on to it after Park ran me off the track, but I couldn't hold on to it as many times as Hornaday hit me.
You can tell tempers are high here, Alan.
It's what you get at Bristol. Didn't I tell you before, when you're a pit reporter at Bristol, all you talk to are mad people all night.
And I was one of them at one time.
Yeah, I know you were. Greg Biffle leads. 27 laps to go. What's going to happen next? Here at Bristol Motor Speedway, Greg Biffle is the race leader. 26 laps to go. We've already had 10 caution flags. How many more before the checkered flag?
And Greg Biffle crashed his car qualifying, had to start at the rear, and said, all I'm hoping for is a top 10 finish. I got to stay out of trouble. Well, so far, he's looking pretty good. This is a battle for second spot between Steve Park, 31-10. Jeff Green, 2. Kevin Harvick.
Maybe a little bad blood between these two over the pit road escapade earlier at lap 103. Let's go to pit road. Here's Marty.
Well, these guys have done a very good job, Vinny. They've been in a wreck. They've had a brake problem. And can you believe, Randy Goss, now you're in the lead.
It's unbelievable. This is a tribute to the crew. They worked hard all night. The Granger car's running good, to tell you the truth. He's laying some laps down right now. As long as the 2 don't get by the 10 too soon, they'll be hard to beat him.
All right, the brake problem is that when he's at speed, the brakes are fine. When he slows down, under caution, the brakes are very soft. But under speed, again, the brakes are fine.
What was that about the 2 and the 10?
Yep. And this is when everybody's starting to get real impatient. We don't have many laps left. And this is where you really start leaning on each other.
Start? Did he say start to get impatient?
These guys have been real patient, I think, for the first 200 laps.
So Jeff Green now back in 4th after Harvick went by. Ryan Newman is 5th in the 0-2. Then you've got Scott Wimmer, Eldon Sawyer, Kenny Wallace, Jimmy Spencer, and Chad Little is in 10th. And here goes Harvick on Park for 2nd. No contest.
All right, the 2 car.
Car in trouble. Turn 1. Kevin LePage. Into the outside wall. That's Tony Raines, who spun off of turn 4. Caution is out. Oh, look out.
There's going to be more crashing before it's over if we aren't careful. Boy, Biffle did not want to see that caution flag and see that 2 car of Kevin Harvick drive up right on his rear bumper.
There's the reason for the caution. Kevin LePage hit the wall in turn 2. Look at the damage on Kevin Grubb's car.
Now they're going to talk about it a while. Not much talking going on, a lot of gesturing going on, using their hands.
But that's a language you guys all understand, right?
Yeah, they understand that language pretty well.
17 laps to go. Greg Biffle now with Kevin Harvick in his rearview mirror. Laps to go. Greg Biffle leads Kevin Harvick. Will they both see the checker? Oh, Biffle's up the track. Harvick to the lead. Can you believe Kevin Harvick was 2 laps down after a flat tire at lap 83?
Now it looks like the Biffle has either debris on his tires or a flat.
Right front?
It's acting like the right front tire is flat. It acts like the right front tire is slack on air.
You can see the tires stuffed way up under the fender well there.
But meanwhile, Kevin Harvick has fought his way back. Here comes the 48 car of Kenny Wallace, beating on the back of the 23 car, Scott Wimmer.
That's for 4th place now. Marty, how about it for Greg Biffle?
Well, on the radio, Greg Biffle has said absolutely nothing, so the suspicion in the pits is that it's just debris on the tires. He has said nothing on what might be wrong on the car.
That's debris on the tires. He's got an awful lot of it, and it should have gone by now.
Yes, I mean, there's more problems than debris. I think he does have a flat tire. But with 10 laps to go, he probably, if he could just ride it out, he probably would be better than trying to make a pit stop and lose a couple laps.
So Kevin Harvick is the lead. 2nd place is where the fighting is going to be toward the finish, it appears, as Biffle's problems have shot Harvick out by a 1.5 seconds. There's Tony Raines has just slipped by Steve Park for 2nd. Now Jeff Green left to work on Park for 3rd.
33 car of Raines is a lap down, Alan.
Yeah, I was just going to say, check that. Raines is back in 18th place.
So this is a battle for 2nd. Jeff Green is right there. Steve Park is sideways, and Green goes to 2nd.
Scott Wimmer's up in 4th. Kenny Wallace 5th. Here they are racing for 4th. Wallace to the inside. Got it. Eldon Sawyer next to try and challenge Wimmer for 5th. On board Wimmer.
Eldon Sawyer's a little faster than the 23 car right now, but only 5 laps to go.
Sawyer started in 6th position. He really hasn't been a factor in the top 5 all night until the very end.
4 to go. Hit your mark.
And Greg Biffle has gone from the lead back to the 17th position in the last 6 laps.
Clear low. Just watch him poking his head in there.
Here's Kenny Wallace by Steve Park. That's 3rd place.
And Eldon Sawyer gets by Scott Wimmer and moves into 5th.
And Kevin Harvick will come to see the white flag next time by. Coming up on Greg Biffle to put him a lap down. Final lap here at Bristol. Harvick trying to win this race for a 2nd year in a row.
Clear.
Would you believe he was 2 laps down at lap 83 after a cut tire? He's made them both up and come back to score the victory. His 5th win of the year. Kevin Harvick has done it at Bristol.
Good job, guys.
Happy's happy.
It's pretty good comeback from 2 laps, BP.
That is
What's
amazing.
going on here with Biffle?
Yeah, you done it, bud.
Was that a congratulations or a curse you?
I don't think that was a congratulations from the 10.
Marty?
Well, Todd Barrier told us, he said, don't count us out. You were right. That was impressive, man.
Marty, what do you think about Kevin Harvick? Is he bad or what?
He's pretty good, I would have to say.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you, we got a couple laps down there with that flat tire. He never give up, just like he does every week. And shoot, there are many more to come the rest of the year is all I can say.
Ryan Newman laid down the challenge with the burnout last week. Are we expecting a good one tonight?
I don't know. I told him to get a jack until tires ready, so there's never no telling.
All right, and it begins on the front stretch.
All right, judges, here we go. Nice figure 8. Okay, judges.
I give that a 10.
I give that a 10. Yes, that was a little bit better than the 0-2
Oh,
car last week.
look, donuts on the banking at Bristol.
Well, the bar's been raised. I mean, Newman did a good one last week, so.
Oh, the fans are loving it. If he's got any tires left, Kevin Harvick will be heading for victory lane shortly. We'll talk with him when we come back to Bristol on TNT. Time for our MBNA Winner's Circle interview. Here's Matt Yoko.
And for the third straight Bristol race, Kevin Harvick starts on the front row. And for the second straight night race, under the stars, whether it's a full moon or not, Happy Harv takes the Blue Deuce to victory lane as fireworks, Gatorade, and you name it's flying through the air. Even some smoke as the car is overheating. You told me after the 0-2 to that tremendous burnout you were going to have to raise the bar even further. What about that one?
I had to give everybody a little something there. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, coming from 2 laps down and winning a race, had to get a little aggressive with a few of them, but it's Bristol. And you got to do what you got to do to win, right?
An impressive run. Talk about the pass.
I mean, Biffle just slid up. I think the hardest one was Green. I got into him a little bit and let him go, and he got sideways. But Biffle just slid up, and I can't say enough for the AC Delco guys. I mean, they've done a great job. Sonic, Sylvania, Coca-Cola, America Online, everybody.
Have you missed anybody?
Snap-on. We love our Snap-on tools.
You haven't missed anybody else, have you?
I don't think so. Let me look at this. Give me this microphone.
Whoa, hey. Rule number 1, you never take the mic because we can never get it back.
The mic from the Power Rangers.
Whoa, whoa. Kevin Harvick wins his second straight Bristol night race under the lights.
Let's take a look at the finishing results from tonight's Food City 250. It's Kevin Harvick, win number 5 this season. Jeff Green gets second. You see Wallace, Parks, Sawyer. Rest of the top 10. Jay Sauter came from the back of the field in a backup car to get a top 10.
See 16 cars on the lead lap. Mike McLaughlin on the last car. Tony Raines would pass Greg Biffle for the 17th position on the last couple of laps.
Some of the cars that ran into problems late in the going, like Ron Hornaday, Matt Kenseth, crashed racing for the lead. Jason Keller, second in points coming in. Going to go out in 29th place in tonight's race. Mikey Waltrip involved in the first 2 cautions. Out in 40th, and Ken Alexander never even made the first lap before the fuel pump failed on his car. We'll take a commercial break, and we'll hear from some of the other top finishers in tonight's race. In just a minute, we'll hear from Jeff Green about whatever all this was about after the race. In just a minute. Aren't those guys teammates next year? Including a race for Winston Cup teammates, Kevin Harvick and Jeff Green for second spot that got a little testy in the closing laps. Check it out. Actually, this was for third at the time.
Go down in turn 1 and watch the 2 car go up, get in that left rear, and just kind of push the 10 out of the way, take the spot, and go on.
Now, after the checkered flag, Greg Biffle there having a discussion with Kevin Harvick. Here comes Jeff Green to have a discussion with him. And Jeff Green is with Marty Snyder now.
Well, obviously your teammate, Winston Cup teammate, is in victory lane, Jeff, but you're very upset. What happened on the track, and then talk about your retaliation.
I just tell him how good he was when I pulled up beside him after the race. But, you know, I went to the back. I made a mistake on pit road and run into Steve Park there and had to go all the way to the back and tried to get back up through there with our Nesquik forward. I could have knocked people out of the way, but I didn't. I hadn't touched a toe. And, you know, Kevin had a lot better tires than I did on at that point. He knocked me out of the way, about wrecked me. I almost wrecked. I almost gave up. I almost thought I spun out. And, no, I don't know. I guess that's the way to win them now. I don't know. You know, it's good action for the fans, but I guess he'll be able to sleep all right tonight.
Clearly you thought his actions were uncalled for. What do you think your car owner will have to say about this?
I don't know. Richard will straighten out, I'm sure, but, you know, he does what he has to do, and if he wins races, he wants to win races like that, that's fine. That's not Jeff Green. So, you know, I'm going to try to pass him clean. If I can't pass him clean, I'm going to run second. And, you know, I think I'll win more than not that way, and surely not piss a lot of people off like he did. So it's a good night for our NASCAR. I don't want to overshadow what we did tonight. We had a great car. We should have been up there all night. I just made a mistake on pit road, and we had to make up for it, and it took us all night to get back where we needed to be.
Well, definitely some harsh feelings, even though the Winston Cup teammates finished 1-2, Liz.
Steve, it was a wild night all night, but especially at the end. We talked to Kenseth about what happened. What do you think happened out there?
He got off turn 4 pretty good and got underneath me, and going down into turn 1, thought there was a lane open down there, and he got in pretty hot and got into the left rear quarter panel and bounced me off the outside wall. But that's just Bristol, and that's just racing. I mean, me and Matt have raced a lot together, and like I said, I know for a fact that he didn't do it on purpose. He was just trying to win the race like we were trying to win. And just like to thank Whelen Engineering, John Olson, everybody back home. I mean, they put this program together. We only do 10 races. We've run 5 top 10s in the last 6 races. So Teddy Marsh and the guys, I just want to thank them all. They've done a great job.
And Steve finished his 4th here tonight. Dave?
Liz, Greg Biffle's day evening went from really, really great to really, really bad in a hurry. Greg, what happened there in those closing laps?
Well, it was just a flat right front tire. Same thing that happened to Harvick earlier in the race, and he was able to come back from it, and we weren't. The guys worked really hard, started at the back with a backup car, and man, the Granger Ford was really good today, and I'd like to thank all the sponsors, Coke and everybody. Just all the debris they left off of 4 when 3 crashed in front of me and gave me the lead. Just it looked like a junkyard of metal out there, and it was bound somebody was going to get a flat tire. I was the first guy to go through it.
Just happened to be him after he was given that gift, like he said, of the lead. Alan?
Greg Biffle wound up in 18th place, 1 lap down. Championship standings, Kevin Harvick's lead was 2:36 coming in. It's 3:45 now after Keller and Biffle had trouble. And we're only just beginning from here in Bristol. Tomorrow night, twice as nice, 500 laps. As the championship drama continues at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, it's the NASCAR Winston Cup Series Sharpie 500 from here in Bristol on TNT. Coming up next, go back to a time when a story about the stock market made you laugh. Stick around for Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd in Trading Places next on TNT. Wild night here in Thunder Valley. We talked about a demo derby. We had 11 cautions for 60 of the 250 laps. Kevin Harvick 2 laps down after a flat tire. Back at lap number 83, made both laps up, came back to score his 5th win of the season and extend his lead in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship and do some pretty cool donuts to salute the fans in the process. Tomorrow night, Harvick in the field for the Sharpie 500. Starting in 8th position as all the stars of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series get set to go here in Thunder Valley. There'll be better than 150,000 on hand. We hope you will be too. For Benny Parsons and Wally Dallenbach, this is Alan Bestwick saying so long from Bristol, where Kevin Harvick is your NASCAR Busch Series winner.